Okay, so Michael, question for you. As a cop, I fought the training of IDPA and USPSA for a long time. Um, can you talk to us about the necessity of and the importance of, say, shooting of IDPA, USPSA? I think that's important, and I'd love to hear your thoughts because I follow you quite a bit, and I'm very impressed with what you do, and I think it's an important component. I'd love to hear your wisdom on that.
Well, I like to tell folks that, competition is not a gunfight, but a gunfight is a competition.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
there's correlation right there. I'm a huge advocate of competition, whether it be IDPA, USPSA, or both, because they add external elements that we're not used to on a normal range. How often do you get to shoot from the seated position, from the ground, or getting up from a car, shooting around no shoots, moving and shooting, using barricades and stuff like that? I think that's extremely important. And the other thing is you're doing it under the watchful eye of a crowd of folks who want you to fail because they want to beat you. So there's a little bit of pressure there. And now I will tell you this, the pressure of, being shot at for real and the pressure of shooting a match are different types of pressure. But stress and pressure, the body has a hard time physically telling the difference between the two. Okay. As an example, I remember going to, my first match, and I remember the adrenaline dump that I felt and the
Yes.
anxiety. And then I also remember at some of the bigger matches that I've gone to, or the matches where I'm really trying to do well, I remember that little bit of stress, even though it's not as much as when I first started. But I also remember the first time that I was shot at and I had to react. And it was in Route Irish, December 2005. And it was the first time that I was in an attack where I was being ambushed, right? And I can actually say this without a doubt that I was less stressed during that time than I was at my first match. And that's the goal. I mean, and again, I'm not comparing the two as far as like, hey, there's a huge difference between being shot at, but as far as my stress level goes, I just remember working, it was like, I got to do this. I got to do that. All I was focused on was getting a job completed, getting to cover, moving to the next objective, and so on and so forth. Whereas in a match, I was thinking about so many other things. And the other thing is that as I progressed into different skill sets and special forces, such as CQB and stuff like that, and room clearing, I noticed that my movements in the house, my movements, my ability to discern different targets, all that got faster and faster and more productive as I had shot more matches. Now, there's a lot of folks out there that will say, hey, there's training scars that you can get from shooting matches. And I will agree ever so slightly. And that's if somebody who has done nothing but shot matches, nothing else. But the majority of us who are doing this have shot matches, are also taking tactical training or involved in the defensive community some way or shape or form. Okay. And because of that, I think it just aids in your ability to, one, have better, faster, accurate shots, and two, manipulation skills. Okay. Because to me, those are incredibly important. I think every good instructor can pick out a great shooter before they even shoot their first round. Just by the way they pick up the gun, they load it and holster it. I mean, there's always that one off, but in general, you as an instructor, I'm sure you see someone pick up a gun for the first time. You've never been exposed to them. You see the way they load, the way they present the gun, and then they holster up. You're going to go, that guy's a good shooter, or that gal's a good shooter. I'm not going to have to worry about them. And when you get up there, 99.9% of the times, you're correct.